Ladies and gentlemen, if I haven't met you before, my name is Roy English. I'm the head teacher of Abington House School. I'd like to welcome you here tonight. Thank you very much for coming. A few years ago, my friend Dan and I plotted and schemed, and we thought, how can we unlock the potential from these children? We do the academics, but how can we break those barriers to learning? How can we get them to be the best they could be? How can we inspire them? Of course, obviously, the answer was by music and art and drama and dance, all those things where they can express themselves freely. I was inspired when I saw Adam and Derek on YouTube, and it's a great delight and privilege to welcome Adam and Derek here tonight. All right, I'm going to stand up and say hello. Hello. Right.
Hello. Hello, everybody.
There you are. So, this is Derek, as you know.
This is Derek.
I promised not to say anything other than completely flattering about you, have I, Derek?
Yeah.
So, Derek and I have been together for 31 years.
1 year.
Yes. And when we first met, you were 5 years old.
I was 5 years old.
Yep. And therefore this high. And really quite naughty, weren't you, Derek?
Very naughty.
So what did you do the first time we met?
I used to push Kelly Fletcher off the piano stool.
You did.
And started to play Don't Cry For Me, Argentina.
You did, yes.
Yes, Adam.
So we've had a long innings together so far. We go all over the world.
We go all over the world. We go to America. We go to Los Angeles. We go to...
Yeah. Go on, yeah.
Kosovo. We go to... not Amsterdam. We go to...
Yeah. All over the place.
All over the place.
So, tonight we're going to tell you a bit about your story, Derek.
About my story.
And hopefully have lots of interaction, because Derek loves to play with other people.
With other people. I love to play with other people.
So just because you're sitting at the back doesn't mean you're safe, I promise. You love people at the back coming forward.
I love people at the back coming forward, yeah.
Excellent. Right, so if you sit down, Derek, I'll start with the show. Here we go. Right, so Derek, you were born very, very prematurely. At 26 weeks, which... Derek, you're 36, aren't you?
I am 36, Adam.
So 36 years ago, to be born at 26 weeks was very, very young, very, very early. At the moment, I'm working with a girl who was born at 23 weeks, which is incredible. But 26 weeks and no proper technical equipment was amazing that you survived, Derek. As a little clue, they didn't have any way of measuring Derek's oxygen levels, so they had to take in fact you can still see in the back of Derek's hand the pinpricks. They'd take one drop of blood, rush it over to the lab, measure the oxygen, it would come back half an hour later saying you need more oxygen, by which time, it's too late. So there's a picture of you anyway, Derek, in what the best there was, with a huge nappy on that covers most of you, and a little white hood, and a little duck that kept you company for many, many years. And Derek, you're so small that you would have fitted on an adult's hand. It was that small. And it was, there we go. Your fight for survival, I think, explains your feisty personality today. So Derek was raised in a traditional British family. They had a nanny, who was like a nanny, not a grandma, but a nanny. A nanny, yes. And poor old nanny thought she'd retired, having looked after Derek's mum and brothers and sisters. But they thought, oh, goodness me, we've got a child who can't see, so Nanny, come and help. So Nanny did come and help. There's a picture of you on the beach with Nan.
In Jersey?
In Jersey, that's right.
In Jersey, on the beach.
Yes, Derek knows us so well, he knows all the slides better than me. And Nanny's great insight, really, was to get a tiny little plastic organ. Plastic organ? Yes, absolutely. Yes, Derek bashed it about so much that she had to keep turning it off, because otherwise it would have broken completely. But the great thing was, and this is so typical of many, many children on the autism spectrum, very early on they start to teach themselves things that interest them. And in Derek's case, that was music. I think for you, Derek, when you were little, language didn't mean a lot. It was very confusing. What there was a lot of, and there still is even more today, is music. Music is in about 80% of the environment. And so for a brain that's struggling to make sense of words, music is a fantastic thing. Music is also about 80% repetitive. It's just pattern, pattern, pattern. It's predictability. And that's exactly what the brain, looking for sense in the world, looking to make sense of it, needs. And lots of children like you, Derek, about 40% of premature babies latch on to music in this way very, very early on. I think that the reason is two things. It's pattern, but it's also the pure quality of sound. So for you, Derek, if I play a note, say any old note, Derek knows straight away what it is. A, yeah, it's just A, isn't it? So, and that's because Derek developed in those very early months this thing called perfect pitch, which about 1 in 5 autistic children almost certainly have. And what it means is when Derek hears any sound, it's like music to you, Derek, isn't it? So if you chink your glasses or the car engine's going or the plane or whatever it is, and it makes a sound, Derek can hear that as music. But it's not just one sound. If I play one sound, that's easy, isn't it, Derek? No, it would be if it was on. How do you turn it on? Technical hitch. Play this note, Derek. Come on. All right. Oh, okay. What Dan doesn't know is I can't see a thing anymore because I haven't got my glasses on. Right, so if I play any old note like that, Derek's onto that. And there are 88 notes on the keyboard, so it's quite amazing to put categories around 88 different things. So we go, yes, gently. Even if I play, say, 7 notes at once. Derek's got it. All of those diminished, yes. Just stick to the sounds, Derek, that's cool. And it was that early perceptual ability that always develops about the age of 24 months that drove Derek's interest in music, really, wasn't it? And what it meant was, for the first time, you could, because words weren't much good, but for the first time you could communicate with people through sound. And we met when you were 4.5, 5. And I heard Derek, and it was just like chaos, actually. Your fingers were moving so fast over the notes. And I thought, this boy's mad. But then I realised in the middle of all those notes and karate chops and headbutts and everything, there was Don't Cry For Me Argentina, wasn't there?
There was.
Do you want to play a little bit of Don't Cry For Me Argentina?
I can play a little bit of Don't Cry For Me Argentina.
Enough of me talking. Go on then. That's great. There was a snag, wasn't there, Derek? Because you couldn't see, you hadn't watched anyone play the piano, so you kind of played like karate chops. I've got a little tape, one of those early learning centre tape recorders, 36 years old, of Derek playing, and you can see I've got some pictures of you when you were tiny, using various body parts to play the piano. body parts. Yes, it wasn't that bad, actually. Right, so here's a bit of Derek aged 4.5, before he'd ever had a piano lesson. This is actually you, Derek. Finish off, Derek? Cool. It was with your knuckles. So the challenge was, as in a lot of people on the autism spectrum, they develop special talents, but don't necessarily want to share them with other people. And that was the challenge, wasn't it, Derek?
It was the challenge.
I wasn't allowed near Derek's piano for about a year.
No.
No. But in the end, because Derek was quite little, I could still pick him up and push him over the other side of the room. And
Pick me up like this, couldn't you, Adam?
well, I'm not going to
And push me on the side of the room.
I've never done that before. No, I'm not going to pick you up now, Derek. But if I plopped you over the other side of the room, that gave me about 5 seconds to play something. So I just go something like this. Exactly. And in that 5 seconds, there was enough time for Derek to realise, actually, it's quite a good game here. There's a copying game.
The copying game.
And you realise that by copying someone, you could start to have a relationship with them. You could have fun. You could have games. You could have play. So I could copy you, or you could play something for me. Just play a note for me. Okay, so I could copy Derek. And that meant for the first time, Derek, you could actually be in control of someone else. And that was fantastic. Yeah. So he gradually built a relationship just through music, not through language, not through words. The other big challenge, Derek, was getting your fingers and thumbs to work.
Getting my fingers and thumbs with thumb, second finger.
All of that. So we used to go, I used to help you, didn't I? Go thumb, second finger, third finger, thumb, second finger, third finger, little finger, fourth finger. Exactly. And still today, Derek uses his thumb for all of them. That's cool, right?
That is cool.
But the important thing was actually that I think most children find scales and things boring, but children with autism often don't, because they're the perfect thing. There's pattern, there's repetition. And Derek used to be at a boarding school where I was as well. So before breakfast, being the kind of teacher I was, we used to get up and do half-an-hour scales, which actually you loved, Derek. For about 10 years, every day, we'd practice scales and scales and scales. And I think it's really, really paid off, because your genius bit was all the hearing, but it wasn't necessarily in the fingers, and that's the bit we had to work very hard at. And that's very typical, again, exactly, of autistic children, who often have a special potential or a special talent, but to make anything of it still requires a lot of work. You don't get out of the work bit. There's a saying that to be really good at anything, you need 10,000 hours. And Derek certainly put in 10,000 hours, because I put in 10,000 hours with him, so it must be 10,000 hours. But what it means today, Derek, is that you can play, with great, fantastic technique.
Yes.
So what's really good what about Flight of the Bumblebee?
I could do the Flight of the Bumblebee.
And to make it harder, shall we ask someone to come and start you off with a note?
We could ask somebody to start me off with a note.
Someone at the back. So, all you have to do is play one note, okay?
One note.
Who would like to play one note? Who wouldn't like to play one note? Just one note. Go on then. Well done, Derek. Shall we do another note?
Another note.
Very good. Come on, just one finger. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You can't get it wrong. No, hold on, Derek. Go on then. Hey, well done, Derek. So, you know, I get sometimes hundreds of emails a month saying Derek's somehow magically gifted. I'm sure it's nothing to do with that. It's just pure work. It's as simple as that. And Derek's worked extremely hard to be able to do technically very difficult things. I think, but there's much more to you than that, Derek. I think you're a great show-off and performer. And actually, it's not music that makes you click. It's actually people. And I think it's through being able to get to people through music that makes the whole thing work, isn't it? So what's lovely about an event like this, because it's quite small, is that people can come and interact with Derek in different ways. And we can see what happens. So, who can play... You've been very good, madam. So, someone else who can play one note, but play it several times. Can anyone do that? I think it's not fair at the front. Come on at the back, because you were... Just one finger, I promise. Oh, all right, very good. Here we go. Right, sorry, what's your name?
Manya.
Manya, right, Terry. Hop up.
Hello.
Hello, Manya.
Yeah, right.
What would you like me to do?
G, do you know the notes? No, that's fine, don't worry, just play that.
Keep on playing?
Yes, please play it, yes. I'm just going to have a drink while she does that. No. A little bit faster? In a minute. Just like... Oh, you changed notes. That's okay, doesn't matter. Yeah, keep going for about half an hour. That's it. Keep going. It's very good. Keep going. One of the great things about you, Derek, is you'll play with anyone anywhere in the world, whatever they can do. So, are there any pianists in the audience? Hey, excellent. Hello. What's your name?
David.
David, right. So, what do you like? What do you play?
Maybe a list.
A list. Okay, that's well. You have the stool. Then. You better sit in the middle. Listen to a bit of Liszt.
Bit of Liszt, then.
David, would you mind if you played that keyboard? Derek could play that keyboard. Right, sorry to mush your bit. That was going very well up to that point. No, I'm going to get you a chair. There we go. It might be switched on if you're really lucky. Right. Okay, here we go. We're going to listen for a minute. Okay. Okay, go on, play that. Yeah.
Took me 6 months to learn that.
Oh, I thought that was just like the intro. I thought you were going to go... Go on.
No pedal.
No, I know. Can you just play it once more?
Once more.
What about anything other than that?
Anything
other than
this?
Try this one later. Thanks for today.
Sorry?
Hey, thanks.
Thank you, David, for playing.
Yay, brilliant. So lovely. Thank you. I'll just talk a bit more, then I'll sort of open the floor up for your questions and thoughts and ideas. I think one of the most important things is that when I started doing this work, people used to think that skills like yours, Derek, were just like a robot, really. They weren't expressive or emotional, and they weren't creative. I think one of the things that Derek has led people to realise in the psychological world is actually the autistic mind is hugely creative. It's just maybe slightly differently creative. And you can see that. So if I just play just a couple of notes, just a chord even. Hold on, Derek, hold on. So the notes are really, it's more than sound. It's like a language, really. So Derek, you could improvise on that, couldn't you? You could make something up.
Make something up.
No, and just gently. Okay. Yeah, Derek. What about if I do a different one? Just like. So if I said, Derek, could you do a boogie woogie on this one?
Boogie on it.
Go on then. Yeah, thank you, Derek. And so on. And you can see how it's just like talking for you, Derek. It's just like playing music is just like talking. And that's, I think if you think of what Derek does more like, when you have a chat with your friend, you don't think about how fantastically clever that is, which it is. And in a way, that's exactly what Derek's doing. He's like using music as a kind of language. Derek, shall we make up the Abington School Blues?
We'll make up the Abington School Blues.
Or, yeah. Look, we need 4 people now.
4 people now.
As each one takes 5 minutes, I'm just wondering, should we just go for one person? What Derek needs is 4 different notes. Okay?
4 different notes.
So it's got to be random, obviously. Roy, come on, give us a note.
Roy,
Lead from the front. Somewhere in the middle is helpful, but it doesn't matter what. F.
F. You can go for F.
I think that's a very good start indeed, sir. Right. Yeah, next one. Here we go. Shall I just turn you around a bit? So far we've had an A. Go on. Somewhere in the middle is easier to hear. Yay.
A flat.
Very good. Yay, we got excitement's palpable. Right, somewhere in the middle is easier. Go on. Oh, wow, okay.
Abington.
Yeah, so go on. I'm going to put it out there for you. Hold on, there's one more. E flat.
E flat. E flat. Woo.
Abington School. Abington School. It's your fault. cheering. Double opposite. So, the floor's yours. If you've got any music you'd like Derek to have a go, if you've got an iPod or an i something, that would be very good. Or if you want to sing or dance, or don't be shy just because you're being filmed and will be on YouTube. Please, yeah. Yeah, you asked him. Derek. Yes. Look this way. Right, go on, ask the question.
What music would you like to hear when you're happy, and what music would you like to hear when you're sad?
Maybe Adele music?
Is that happy or sad? Or
Happy?
happy? Which bit? Which Adele?
Someone Like You.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Do you want to play a bit of that?
Can play a bit of that.
What about sad? What would be sad?
Sad. So, rolling the beat.
Yeah. You're making it sad, are you? Derek's making it sad. Okay, Derek, that's pretty sad. In many ways, that is sad. Yay, okay, well done. I think emotions are a really interesting thing, and I think, actually, Derek, you've got in contact with your own emotions through music, funnily enough. Most of us sort of feel things when we're teenagers and find music that kind of matches those feelings. Whereas I think, Derek, it's been the other way around in his 20s and 30s through mixing it with thousands and thousands of people in social contexts with music where emotions were discussed and felt. I think Derek's kind of caught on to some of those things. You're generally very happy though, aren't you?
Very happy, yeah.
So it's quite hard. I can't say, Derek, feel sad, because you don't. Well, perhaps you could, yeah, go on. That's very interesting. I work a lot with autistic children, as you probably know, and it's usually the children that find sound most frightening that are actually most sensitive and often the most musical. So today I was working with a girl called Romy, who Derek knows very well. She does. She tells me what to do for 4 hours a week, so that's good. But when Romy, she's 14 now, when she was little, sound petrified her. The family couldn't take her out because she was just, it was completely overwhelming. And indeed, her family were convinced she was musical, and her school said, no, she's not, because she screams whenever the teacher sings. So, you have to put my diplomatic hat on. But the point is, Romy actually now, through a lot of patience, really, on the part of her family mainly, she's actually far, far more accepting and can enjoy music. I think the thing is, every time we hear a note, we get an emotional kick from it. So if I play something obvious, like this, you kind of get a slight emotional buzz. I think a lot of autistic people, including Derek, get the, imagine that buzz 100 times stronger, and it works with any note. So like this, today working with Romy, I just played an E-flat major chord. We were doing something, and that made her cry. Not because she was sad, but because she was so emotionally taken by the sound. And I think it's acknowledging, I think, again, people think autistic people aren't emotionally engaged in art or music. They absolutely are. It's just you've got to read it in a slightly different way. And very often they're overwhelmingly emotionally engaged with music and therefore shut it out. And therefore people think they're not musical, which is the other danger, I suppose. You were going to ask a question? No. Yeah, sure. Sure. Yeah, it's difficult. I think, again, because it just takes years of patience, really, but in the end, you'll get there. And Derek is very good. He's also listening to, I know he's hearing everything in the hall. And if we're out and about, say we're in a train carriage, okay, and we're down one end, and a couple of people are having a phone conversation at the other, and he'll start joining in. Won't you, Derek? Yeah. So by the end of any trip, the whole plane or train or whatever it is engaged with Derek's interests at the moment. But I think the thing is to learn, I suppose, not to be afraid of them, and if the child can somehow get in, it's difficult, but somehow through experience, get accustomed to them. That's the thing. And the ear defenders and things obviously are quite good for some children. They can be a great way forward. Yeah, there's not a quick solution, but there is. It will get there in the end. Solution, yeah. How old's your son or daughter? 10. Okay. Right. Right. Great. Excellent. He'll get over it. Go on. He'll get over the loud sounds and the ACTs. Yes, he absolutely loves a pep. Yes. Have you got someone who can sing? Yeah. Hey, great. Thank you.
It's very
odd pacemaker wires come out. Thank you very much. Yeah, so I hope that shows how, we can get off a plane anywhere in the world. And the great thing about music is, I know it's not, people say, is it a universal language? Well, there's enough of it that is for Derek to just make contact with anyone, which is fantastic. Any more questions or comments? Yes?
I wonder if Derek remembers Les Dawson, how he was a really nice tune.
Yeah.
Nice tunable Les Dawson.
It's quite hard, because Derek isn't of the Les Dawson generation. Derek, it's like this kind of thing. Can you do that? Exactly. Just make something up that's silly like that. Right, let's do Twinkle Twinkle Little Star now. Derek, wait, listen. Can you do that? Yeah. Go on then. Very good. And you can hear what's happening. That Derek, you're putting a kind of vibe on it, like a language. Playing random is about the hardest thing you can do. To ask someone on the autism spectrum to do random is extremely hard because it breaks all the rules, obviously. So what you were doing, Derek was putting a sophisticated rule system under it to make it sound random, as you probably heard. Yes. So there you go. No is the answer. Anyone else?
Do you compose music?
Is there a particular piece you're very happy with?
Yeah. Maybe with the Beethoven?
Yeah. Okay. There you are. You've hit the nail on the head. So I think what Derek's good at is improvising music in the moment.
Improvising music.
I think the notion of composition's a bit more tricky. What Derek has got is CDs and things that he's improvised arrangements of. In fact, I can go and get some from the car. Hadn't thought of that. You can tell I'm really good at marketing. And then Derek can, funnily enough, then replay his improvisation. So in a sense, that's a composition. That's a bit different from sitting down in a garret somewhere and writing something out. It's not that kind of composition. Yes?
To Derek, is all music a copy of previous music?
No. No, not really. It's like the language analogy. So Derek's got this huge musical vocabulary, and he's got different musical grammars of different styles, and then he can create things within those grammars. What you're not so good at, Derek, is creating things out of the box. So creating randomy things. Like modern music, if you ask Derek to play Schoenberg, it sounds like Wagner, because he pulls it back into a style. So, yeah. It's all very technical, I think. Yes. I thought you were going to ask me about AC/DC, you see. Yes. Which I wouldn't have known the clue about. Yes. Yes.
One of the things that I was most impressed with Derek is that he can play different things with both hands. So
Yeah.
carry a melody with one hand,
Yeah.
and catch a melody with another melody.
Yeah.
So just play. There was an intro to one video on YouTube. I can't remember when the intro done. With one hand.
Oh, right. It was this one, wasn't it?
The Abington's Blues.
Sorry, say it again. Can't quite hear it. Yeah, it was this, wasn't it? Did he? Oh, right. Play it with one hand, Derek. Immediately. Play it with your left hand. Just play it with your left hand. Then you play it with your right hand, don't you? Yeah. I think actually it's interesting. It's quite common. It's something that we all learn to do. So if you learn a skill with one hand, you can do it with the other hand, but not quite as well, usually. What pianists learn to do is to cross the brain so they can, if it's learnt in one hand, although the fingers are different, it's essentially there in the other hand as well. It's very, very good brain stuff, playing the piano, because mostly on the piano you're doing different things with different hands. So you're you know, it's really a fantastic. It's like a workout for the brain. Is playing the piano. Yeah. Shall we get the children in? Yeah, yeah. Right.
Before the game have a go, can we please thank Adam and Derek for
Stand up, Darren. Stand up. Let's stand up. Don't Darren. Stand up. There's no one there. Just standing in front of the stage. Just stand up. You're going to come and sing the audience, can you? You're going to listen to the children?
Listen to the children play. Listen to the children.
You're going to slide.
Slide.
Oh, you can play. Oh, it's fine.
Play.
Can Mum come and sit by me?
You have to join in a minute. I don't know what's going on. I have no idea.
No idea.
Yeah.
He's not the only one.
Why don't we get rid of this thing? No, it's good. Turn it on. I just have to put my glasses on. I'm going to turn this thing off, don't worry. Yeah, I was going to say, like torturing the child. No, it's not big.
Who else?
Derek, of course.
This is a devised piece, as normal, and we had a rehearsal today. Yeah. Okay, we on? Steve, you on? Pete, you on? Okay, Sam, how's the ride? Too loud?
Guys, to the room. Got room? Small. Got room?
5, I said 5, so 5, not 8. Right.
Pretty good. So turn around this way, so you're facing me.
No way.
Starts with Mr. Thompson.
Derek, wait.
Can you stand up? They can hear you a bit better.
At my age?
Yeah, exactly. So again, what we do, we tend to rush. Get very excited and we rush. Okay, 1.
Hang on.
Sorry.
Right.
So you're rushing over there.
Here we go.
We'll play a little beat on the play rhythm on the piano.
Boys, the rhythm on the piano. Come over here.
It'll be all right. I'll
Here we go.
I'll try to do this. Just do that. Down here.
and set the ball. Mr. Ickley,
What more can you say? And these students, Adam and Derek, thank you very much for coming tonight.